Jimmy Kimmel, you're not fired. So, Jimmy Kimmel's rehired, unsuspended. Let's check this out.
Welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I am Andy Mack. We do have some breaking news that we want to get to, as Jimmy Kimmel will be back on air starting on Tuesday. That after ABC
Tomorrow night.
and Disney pulled him from the air, suspending him indefinitely for his comments made about the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. Back on air, Jimmy Kimmel will return to air. As you can see this, a post from TMZ saying Jimmy Kimmel Live is coming back to ABC after this suspension. So obviously there are lots of conversations we did watch unfold even on Hollywood earlier on today, calling for Jimmy Kimmel to be reinstated.
Yeah, well, you know why? I think the left, Democrats, decided to boycott after them firing him or suspending him. And they lost, what was it, like around $3 billion in one day? So they're like, wait a minute, we'll rehire him. That's what I've been hearing
right now. And in a statement from Disney, they said, quote, "Last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation, an emotional moment for our country. It's a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and insensitive. We have spent the last days of thoughtful conversation with Jimmy." So, of course, after those conversations...
I heard also that they said that if he wanted to come back, that he had to do like a live apology when he came back or something like that. I don't know if that's part of the stipulations. But I also heard that with them losing that $3 billion or whatever it was, or their stock price dropping, I heard that their stock had been that low before. So it wasn't like it was like unprecedented, and it took, you know what I mean? Apparently their stock's just been going up and down, up and down, up and down anyway. So like people are making a big deal of them losing that money, but it really wasn't. So I don't know why he's really back, and I guess we'll just have to see. I heard the ratings were really low, and he really wasn't pulling in the business that they wanted in the first place, and that was kind of like an excuse for them to let him go. You know what I mean? But I just don't know the full story. I've seen so much stuff about it.
We reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. So some big news in terms of this, as the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, said it might have to take the easy way or the hard way in terms of regulating some of those comments by Jimmy Kimmel. But big news...
Who knows where I got that from? We can do this the easy way or the hard way. The easy way. Your favorite fan, if you know what that is.
News that the comedian, the late night talk show host, is back on air starting on Tuesday. So less than a week since he was pulled from the air for those comments about it. We heard lawmakers in Hollywood today comment on what he said, of course, calling on the reinstatement of Jimmy Kimmel. So some big news in terms of that here on Live Now from Fox about that late night show host. As you can see, also saying this from Elizabeth McDonald, say Jimmy Kimmel is returning to a show tomorrow night. Disney still says his comments were ill-timed and insensitive. But big news and rocky start to the week for Disney in terms of their stock. Talking about potentially Disney being boycotted. We'll see if it's somewhat of a reverse, if it is instead not the left only dropping Disney, but now the right for bringing Jimmy Kimmel back. All right, following it all closely here on Live Now from Fox.
Well,
let's sign away for another quick 2-minute break.
With Disney right now, it's like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. But, you know, it is what it is.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I am Andy Mack. Thank you so much for joining us. Coming up here in about 15 minutes or so, we're expected to hear from President Trump. Major autism, and sometimes some of the month. Jimmy Kimmel will be back on air on ABC in his usual late night talk show slot. And this comes after that suspension by ABC and Disney, as they said it was still ill-timed and insensitive, his comments about the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. And I do want to put up just some of this here on Live Now from Fox, a statement from Disney talking about the return of this, saying last Wednesday we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming the tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. It's a decision we made because we felt some of his comments were ill-timed and insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations we reached the decision to return that show coming up on Tuesday. So some big news in terms of this, as free speech advocates speaking out about the censorship they felt was taking place with Jimmy Kimmel and some of these comments, saying the lawmakers, including their Brad Sherman in Hollywood, talking about it was not a joke, was not saying anything about Charlie Kirk in particular, saying it was obviously against the president instead. So following this closely here on Live Now from Fox, and obviously a lot of new developments. We'll hope to hear from our Fox 11 team about those developments here, and we potentially could hear from the president himself if he was asked on a question there inside of the Oval Office, inside of the White House.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel is back for those who care. Muppet yell, yay! It should be his monologue coming back should be interesting. I have to remember to check it out. I'm sure they'll have it on YouTube at some point anyway. So, what do you think? Are you one of the boycotters? Are you on the left or on the right? And are you boycotting? And also, do you care or not? I didn't watch him anyway. I would watch some stuff once in a while. But I didn't really watch, but I'm always watching other stuff at night. But that is what it is. He's back, y'all. I guess let the games begin. Everybody go to Twitter and YouTube videos talking about this and check the comments. They should be popcorn worthy, I'm sure. 10 million subscribers. Woo!